Okay.
Oh, we're there. That was weird. Don't know what happened there. Sorry about that, guys.
Almost perfectly. So Matt was saying like, oh, switching on.
No, don't tell him. No, I was bragging as we went live. But it's transitioned seamlessly from the song into going live, and we weren't. We were muted.
Almost seamlessly.
So I'll just keep my mouth shut from now on. Speaking of keeping your mouth shut, Anton, everyone.
Hey guys.
Keep your mouth shut.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Welcome to the stream, everyone. Thanks for joining us. So, today we're doing something slightly different.
Ooh, it's Clarence over there. Clarence. Long time no see there the game. It's your boy Clarence. There we go. Hey Clarence, how's it going?
Welcome. I'm not familiar with Clarence.
Oh yeah, remember. It's like his nickname.
I'm going to say it.
Well,
I'm just going to call him Clarence. But thanks for stopping by. So we're going to do something a bit different. Let's talk about what we're going to do. So we recently put up a new thread on our forum, and we spoke about it last week actually, in last week's Concall, about getting you guys, or just sort of submitting your block designs to us, so we can go through them and we can pick the ones that we like, and eventually through the whole sort of block design process, get them added to the game. So that's why we have Anton with me today, because that's quite literally what your job is.
Pretty much, yeah.
So we're going to talk more about that whole thing in a minute, but really what today's stream is going to be doing is showing you guys what Anton does on a day-to-day basis of when it comes to designing, and just basically sketching the very early stages of designing a thing, which is essentially what we want you guys to do, is to just sketch and make stuff. We've already had a couple of submissions to the thread already. One of them was a Better Future missile launcher that was just done in Minecraft, and I love that. That's amazing. That's well, not exactly, but like that's the sort of thinking that I like seeing. So yeah, kind of keep it at that level. There's a couple of caveats to what we're trying to do. One main kind of point to make is we're only looking for blocks that support the current functionality. I've overcomplicated that. What I mean by that is try not to come up with new ideas for new blocks and new systems and new things like that, new mechanics, because that's going to require code time, which we just can't do right now. But art, they've got all the time in the world. This is quite literally what they do. They love doing this stuff. So think of it as more of take the ideas of what the mechanics that we've already got and just reskin them. So something like a Better Future missile launcher, while not thematically might not work, that's a question for Chris, our lead designer. That's still taking the idea. There's already Better Future, there's already the Better Future Corporation, and there's already missile launchers. So just designing a skin or 3D modelling something around those two concepts, boom, sorted. That's kind of the thought process. So yeah. Yeah,
I think like once we start just sketching stuff, we can explain like what exactly to be aware of when designing blocks, because we an art team is 4 of us. When we think of new blocks, and even like the design, our game designers like Chris and Greg, when we come up with block ideas, because we're kind of low on code time, we try and think of new weapons with the same functionality but slightly different properties. And these properties, I'm going to explain a bit like what they are. And even with them, you can come up with something unique and like pretty new. So yeah, should we jump into it?
Let's do it. So I'm going to swap over. Let's switch. So basically, today's stream is going to be done pretty much mainly in Photoshop. So I'm going to swap over to that. This is just this is one block that Anton's already designed. I call it the, what should we call that block?
What should we call it? Let's, blah, blah, blah. There we go. Oh, hold on. I just want to move it slightly. Just look at the bottom thingy. I'm not happy when it appears. Okay, hold on. Something,
Can you bring it OBS?
Yeah. Oh, where's, there we go. Ah, there we go. And chat window as well. Sorry guys, I messed up.
Anton done a geek.
There we go.
What's that done?
Yeah, so basically just like, the bottom bar, toolbar.
Oh, I see. So you can show you on stream, or just so you can
no, so it's hidden. Okay. Alright. So I'm just going to create a new layer. I'm just gonna fill this with complete. Actually, I don't want it completely white. I want like when designing new blocks and just in general when sketching, I like having slightly different background.
So bearing in mind, Anton is quite proficient in Photoshop. We're not expecting you guys to do this level of detail. Like I said, in the forum thread, I'll link it in chat in a minute. If it's just an idea that you've scribbled on a napkin or something you've done in Minecraft, something like that, that's totally fine. As long as it gives us an idea of what it is as long as it gives us an idea about the design and the look and the feel of the block that you'd like to design, that's primarily what we're going for. So we're just using Photoshop just as a way to show on stream really. So yeah, so you can do it in Paint, for example. That's a free software.
Yep.
Something like that. Anton's just getting his canvas ready.
Yeah.
So what we talked about this. We did talk about this before stream. But really, what Anton's wanting to do today is show. We're going to just make a new.
Basically just start sketching and see like what we can come up with. So me and Matt, we thought about like, what blocks we can try and design. I don't know. We decided just to stick to guns because guns are the most fun blocks in the games, I think.
Yeah. Right? So weapons. So let's crack on with that. So I'm just gonna leave that to Anton's. Oh, you go full screen.
Nah, there we go.
Okay.
Oops. Okay, there we go. Alright, guns, right?
Here we go, guns. Right, guys, guns.
Let me see like what size this is. Image size.
Anton's still setting up.
Pixels. I think that should be alright. Oh, on the right here.
Don't want to write nothing.
Alright, guns. So, what guns should we make?
White Paw says a burrito harpoon.
Burrito harpoon! Oh, let's do it. So basically burrito. So normally that's actually not normally like, that's what I've started doing recently. I just start painting with black color. I want to get the strong silhouette first, right? Silhouette on like just really tiny details, and then sort of build on top of that. So if it's a burrito harpoon gun, right, I probably want like a burrito, like imagine like a cylinder pretty much. Burrito. So let's imagine the side view, and there's like a harpoon gun would be something like a thing like that. Let me quickly just change the brush. I want shape dynamics, pen pressure. And let's create a new brush. Yeah, I think that's alright.
Beautiful.
Oh, hold on. Control Z. There we go. Now it works. So harpoon gun, right? So that's probably looks like a corn on the cob. Okay, maybe it's a bit too large. So yeah, burrito, right? Burrito. Okay, let's try maybe like with the harpoon. So it's like some sort of a spear, right? Probably what corporation do you think should stick to? Okay, like burrito food corporation special.
Maybe we're getting a bit off topic on this one. Maybe we're doing stuff that we shouldn't definitely be doing. What about... Okay, start again.
Yeah.
What about a shotgun?
Shotgun? Yeah, we can do shotgun.
Have we got enough shotguns?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, we can do shotgun. So basically, when designing new weapons or new blocks in the game, especially guns, right? We need to keep in mind, we need to know beforehand whether they're going to rotate or not. Like current shotguns we have in the game, some of them do rotate. They want to keep, I've got in mind the Hawkeye shotgun that doesn't really turn a lot, so it's basically the static one, right? It doesn't really, it's like a double barrel one.
Yeah.
It doesn't like turn a lot. So we kind of need to know straight away like what we want this block to do. In this case, just for fun, let's say like this gun rotates 360, right? And it can also aim up and down. It has some sort of arc of aim. So let's assume this is our shotgun, some sort of a shape. Then like a barrel goes over there, right? And then some sort of base over there. And also, we know that it's going to probably rotate, like, say, it's not very good drawing, but basically 360, and also like some sort of arc like that. So we have to define what cells it's going to occupy on the cell grid, right? So normally, if it rotates 360, let's assume, let me create a new layer just to showcase with green color. Let's say this is two unit long block, right? When it turns around, obviously it will occupy another cell behind it, right? So we kind of need to keep that in mind. There are some blocks in the game though that do not occupy cells around it. It looks a bit weird, sometimes they clip, so I'm not gonna tell you which ones, because like it was ages ago when we designed them. We kind of didn't really keep that in mind. So in order to avoid such mistake, it's a good idea to kind of think about it beforehand. So imagine like this. So we know there's a block, it will turn around, it will face, okay, oh, flip, how do I flip it? Oh, sorry guys, I'm not really, I normally have keyboard shortcuts set on my Photoshop, so over here without shortcuts I need to click, transform, flip horizontal, there we go. So it'd be something like that. And then in total, if it spins 360, it will occupy 9 cells, right? So basically, let me show you, let me quickly draw another sketch.
So we're calling a cell one block?
Cell, yeah, it's like just one unit. One unit, one block. So let's imagine this is the top view. It'd be something like that. Imagine there's a gun, there's a shotgun over here. I'm also going to reduce the opacity so it's not too obstructive. And then once it spins, oh. Where's the pivot point? I wonder. Anyway, basically when it spins, it will spin like that as well. It will occupy other cells, and we wouldn't want the weapon or just any block to collide with these adjacent blocks. So that's that. We need to keep in mind which cells it's going to occupy, right? Then secondly, we know it's going to rotate 360, right? We need to have some sort of a base that spins, right? So it kind of makes sense. So it looks like there's a mechanism that holds the weapon and it spins. And also aims up and down, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to delete these and start over. Right, and then let's say some sort of base, like a classic base, right? There's an AP, so this is the side view again, right? It will probably be something like this. Oh, hold on, sorry, my mistake. There's a base, like a static base that doesn't move. Let's say this one, you know, the one at the very bottom with an AP doesn't move. This one on top. Maybe I can change. Oh, sorry. slightly change the color so it sort of makes sense. Red, slightly red, yeah, why not? So the red one will turn 360, something like that, right? Then, so that's already two objects. So that's already two different objects. The next one, we'll probably want another object, slightly different color. Let's say it's purple. Like another main part of the gun, right? That will basically aim up and down with the rotation point right over here. It looks a bit like an eye, don't you think? Yeah. So that's going to be second object. And also, if we want the gun to recoil, right, we need to add another object that moves separately. So let's say this barrel, right? I replace it with maybe like green color, why not? Over here, so we know it will, once it shoots, it will recoil back slightly. So it's probably gonna go inside of this object, right? So when you see models in the game, they do intersect, right? Maybe like as a player, like you don't really notice it. It seems like, oh, it kind of makes sense when it goes back, but like these objects, they intersect each other all the time. And it's pretty much how games are made, right? So we need to make sure when this green one, the barrel goes back in, it's completely enclosed and there like the geometry doesn't come out from anywhere, because otherwise it's just gonna break the immersion and will look kind of quite cheap. So that's that. Little things like that. So basically, yeah, these are the basics pretty much. We can make more complicated animations if we like to, but say for you guys, I think that's a good start. Right, so probably don't want anything way too complicated. And that's pretty much it.
Boom, there you go.
Well,
so that's Anton's submission right there. So we'll take that, and I mean it's not looking good, I'll be honest.
Well, basic. Oh, hold on. Shortcuts. I'm not so used to these shortcuts, Matt. Enter. There we go. So that's pretty much like the diagram for our weapon, so to speak, right? I can
Blueprint.
It's a blueprint, yeah. And now, like when we're happy with it, when we're sure that like these are sort of the more final on this blueprint, we can just make it look prettier, right? And basically focus more on design, details, and then also we need to know which corporation is gonna go to, and then basically focus on that corporation details, right? What corporation do you think it should belong to? Shotgun, right? It's pretty small. We can make it bigger if you like. Let's make it bigger. Yeah, why not?
Okay, good.
Let's make it like three units long, shall we?
Could do like a long range shotgun.
Yeah, let's do it. Why not? Long range. So how many units cells would it occupy? Like 4 if it's long range, right? And then probably something.
Why are those diagonal lines coming in?
Yeah, this is the functionality. So normally, if I kind of just paint over here, hold shift and press, it will, we can do stuff like that. And also, shift kind of lines up. So if you start drawing first and then hold shift, it will keep it straight. So sometimes, you can just, if you don't press it, well, it's not really cheat. If you don't press it like in time, then it kind of stuff like this happens.
Anyway.
Yeah. So these are the basic rules. Let's say this is a long range shotgun. I'm just gonna create a folder to hide the our diagram. Oh, V doesn't, why doesn't do this? Matt, why shortcuts are not, there we go. I'm also gonna call like this layer cells, so I know what it is. Put it on top, and maybe slightly drop the opacity so it's not in the way. Okay, and this layer we can call sketch. Okay, shotgun. So we've got Hawkeye shotguns. GSO, I'm not sure. Does GSO have any shotguns?
It doesn't, but let's do one for it.
One for it.
How about this? How about a Geocorp shotgun? I realise it's completely off
Ooh.
brand.
Yeah, let's do it. Why not? Maybe Geocorp. So someone suggested like burrito harpoon gun. Yeah, what if it shoots just harpoons or something? Or like nail guns? Like nail gun is like a thing in games. It shoots like some sort of projectiles like nails or something. Maybe it can be Geocorp can utilize it. This tool, it can, it works as a tool, can utilize as a weapon, not a very long range weapon. Why not, right? Because of construction mining company. So Geocorp are really blocky, right? If it's a long range, then if it's a long weapon, right, it's not always a good idea to make it rotate 360. And the reason for that, because it occupies lots of space, right? And then if it occupies lots of space, then you can't place block around it. So if, let's say, if this long and then shoots out from here, right? And then will turn all the way around and occupy lots of space. So probably want to be cautious of that.
Let's have a rigid one then.
Yeah, why not? Okay, Geocorp, right? We wanted to shoot like some sort of nails, right? So let's say it's quite blocky. It has some sort of a like this sort of barrel at the end, probably like an ammunition box or something where you load them up, right? And then Geocorp, they're pretty big, right? So we probably wanted maybe a bit like larger, maybe double barrel. Yeah, let's make double barrel.
Yeah.
Why not? So I just imagine like the view from the top currently, right? Let's say from looking from the top. Have something like this, and then how would we want it to be? What would we want to happen? Let's say. So basically, this is like the real process how I make blocks, right? I just keep it very rough. Sketch is like very, very rough. I just want to get like the strong silhouette, and then when I'm happy with that, I normally do not continue Photoshop. I jump in 3ds Max because it's a bit easier to visualize over there, right? And then just add more details, because normally painting stuff like this, it takes ages, but if you just add all these details in 3ds Max, then pretty much the whole block will be done. But let's say I want it to be a bit more exciting. I want to have this area, kind of this area, back area exposed. So let's say this is back, this is front, right? It shoots out like from there. Imagine it'd be pretty cool if these nails, some sort of projectiles, like nails, how nails do look like? They look like normal nails like that, right? Mm-hmm. Imagine you can see how they get loaded inside of the gun, right? There we go. Just gonna make it larger. I think that'd be pretty cool. Imagine like when you shoot, you can see they actually get loaded like from somewhere, like from up there or something. Oh, sorry. I think that'd be quite exciting. Yeah. If you have any ideas, like, or you guys have any ideas, just feel free to add them, because what I'm doing right now, it's most likely not going to be look really cool, because that's how it works. Like you start with like really rough things, you know, they look terrible, and then eventually after lots of times, it kind of you know, shapes up.
Shido, just to be sure, normal blocks aren't discouraged either, right? Or do you want mainly weapons? No. We're just showing you. We just picked a weapon to design. Literally any type of block that you can think of. Honestly, the more creative, the better. Yeah, we're open to all types of designs.
Yeah. Okay, let me just make it a bit smaller, so we have more space. There we go. So something like that. They look like little missiles. But currently I wouldn't really worry about it. I would focus more on the actual weapon shape, and later on, if I want these projectiles to be better, then probably need to sketch them separately. So the barrel is a bit kind of. Do you think it should be a little like, if it's a nail gun, should it be long or should it be a bit shorter? Because I imagine more like a stapler. You know, this is one of those staplers. It's kind of short. It's quite blocky and short. I feel like it should be. That's what Geoprop would have, right? So not really elegant, but something really blocky and straight to the point. Like bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, make it. Make it a short. Yeah, that would make sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Okay, let's. Oh, lots of errors. I don't even know what they are. Invalid memory. What? Ah.
So you
what?
made.
Sorry. Errors. Matt, what is it doing? Invalid numeric entry. A number between 0 pixel and 1000 pixels is required. Restore velocity. Okay, there we go. I've got it here. This work? Yes. Okay, I'll just shorten. Make it a bit shorter. I want to keep it so a bit more blocky. Something like maybe just like that. Some sort of shape that sort of unifies it.
Nice.
Yeah. But I would want players to see that there's two barrels over there. So this is still view from the top. I might just write it down as well, like top view, right? What kind of these? I want these barrels to be seen. Right, and then we can't really see from here like how the actual inside of the barrel would look like, but we can just try it out later on. So from here, what can we add? This shape. It reminds me a bit of a Venture double minigun or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to try and avoid that. I normally like coming up with more unique shapes, and blocks that do not resemble other blocks, because I think, especially when you see them, I want players to recognize like, oh, this is a shotgun, this is a machine gun, like minigun or whatever, right? So currently, this shape, it's almost like I don't know, it looks like that Venture double minigun. So I want to avoid that. And normally when I design stuff, I quickly come up with one sketch, and then I duplicate it and then iterate it, so we can see like the progress, what's happening, right? So we'll eventually I create a collection of different designs, and then you just pick the best one, or basically see how it's improved and like what's wrong with it. Basically, it's easier to judge what needs to be done. Okay, so like this shape, right? What would I want to be done? Let me try the from a side, the view from a side. Like maybe we can make it load from the top, something like that. I think that's pretty blocky, can be pretty geocorpy. Then imagine if it's like there are these projectiles inside, like stored somehow. Then base. We want it to be static base, right? We don't want to rotate.
Yeah,
so we want it to be kind of welded right to the like main part of the gun. Like, I don't know, something maybe like that. I kind of want to add a bolt over there like that, but then it sort of suggests that it might spin, right?
Could it not do that rather than spin?
Oh yeah, you can. Yeah, why not?
That would imply, that's what that bolt would imply to me.
Yeah.
This is a psyche, right?
Yeah, why not? Okay, and then geocord bases. I'll say it's something like that. Okay. It looks more like a little pistol. You know what? I've got to say an idea. So normally nail guns, or like a stapler, some sort of, right? You kind of want to be like very close to an object in order to make some sort of impact. So the front, like this shape, right? I kind of wanted to be able to withstand some sort of like damage, say, an impact when it's really close to another object, like another material, like maybe a rock or another block or something. I want it to look like, it can withstand the damage. So maybe it might be a bit weird, right? But it's sort of like, I want to emphasize the sort of durability and strength of the block, right? Maybe also like when we texture it, right? We can add these hazard stripes over here to show that, it's like, it's colliding with things. So basically, it's a hazard, like not to get too close to it, because there's like these projectiles fly out from there. Something like that. Something like that. Okay, take a look. So the silhouette starts looking a bit different. It's less of a pistol or a weapon. It's more like some sort of a, from a side, looks like a punching tool or something, right? Maybe it's not a bad thing, I'm not sure. Obviously, this is not a final design, right? But we're sort of getting somewhere. It doesn't resemble currently it doesn't resemble any other blocks we have in the game, right? Okay, the base.
That's an important thing to note then, is if you're feeling like you're designing something that looks like something that's already there, then it's probably going to be redundant and therefore not worthwhile. So if you're looking at this early stage, if you're looking like you're sort of drawing something up or sketching something that is new and is kind of different to what's already there, that's always a good starting point. That's always a good launch pad to go from, because if it's new and fresh, it's going to be new and fresh.
Exactly.
So it's just something to think about.
sorry, I'm just completely changing the design right now. I just feel like from a side it can look a bit more. Kind of just want to add a bit more interest. Something like that. Okay, what other geoport details are there? Looks a bit weird, doesn't it? Okay, well, let's say we got this, and I will just duplicate it and just try something else and just keep evolving, you know, just into something different, and different. And it's a good idea to try out lots of designs rather than stick to one, because it's quite. I remember before, ages ago, I used to kind of the first design I enjoyed and liked. I kind of stuck to it, right, and then trying to find a model, but it's not really a good idea, right? It's better to just try different things, because you don't really expect what you can come up with as you go along.
Yeah, you're not going to hit a home run the first time, are you? You're going to have to,
like
you say, ideate and iterate.
It really sometimes, well, quite often it seems like you can do that from the first go, but most of the time it's better just to try out different things. There we go. So I'll duplicate it, set it to a different layer, and then try something else. So what if we make it a bit like even larger, like something as big as that, maybe? Looks like a massive cannon though.
There's a bit kind of going out of the realms of nail shotgun to.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, well, let's stick to something small. Maybe this, and let's change the design over here. Maybe to something. I don't even know. So I want it to be geoporpy. I want to kind of keep to these blocky shapes, more angles. Maybe they can be loaded up over there somehow with these nails or something. Kind of reminds me of a car. Yeah, there's something about this car like. There we go. Don't like it. I'll just duplicate it. Gonna put these in a folder called like page 1. Hide it. Oh, move it over there, and basically like just design more and more blocks. Okay, what else can we come up with?
A whole new idea.
I don't know. We can just keep building on top of it. Yeah. Let's try something else. I kind of like the idea of having this sort of like the front, you know, like a really durable front, and let's say sort of something looks like that. And for a second, let's avoid, let's ignore the APs. So we can just get the silhouette first, and then later on, when we're happy with it, we can adjust it to fit the APs and cells.
So yeah, those that have turned up late to the stream, let me just re-explain what we're doing. So Anton is currently going through the kind of very initial design steps that we do, or that the artists do for designing new blocks. And this is because we want you guys to design your own blocks and submit them to us, so we can then take those ideas and effectively flesh them out a little bit more and actually kind of add them to the game. So what we're going to do is, you guys are going to submit your text. Your blocks. Sorry, this is not comical. You're going to submit your blocks, and we're then going to go through them all, pick our kind of 4 or 5 favourites, and then we'll get you all to vote on which ones you'd like to see made into TerraTech. And then Anton and Rob, our 2 sort of 3D artists, will take them into 3D Max, which is our 3D rendering software, and make them and hopefully get them added to the game. So for those that don't know, it's about 6 months ago, I feel. It's a while ago. One of our forum users by the name of Salem Black, who I think might be in the chat, came up with the idea of some new armor blocks for Hawkeye. They're the angled, I think they were the angled, please design water. Shut up about water, whiteboard. Time and place. Salem Black designed some angled Hawkeye armor blocks, which I think Rob just kind of found. Oh no, we'd forwarded it on. The process was I'd forwarded it on to Art, who really liked the idea and actually thought that would be quite simple to do. It would be simple because it didn't require any code support. It was taking an idea from a block that already existed, aka armor, also known as armor, and just kind of reconfigured it into different components, into a new sort of armor block that had its own stats, and we can then adjust ourselves through, our designers can then adjust the stats and things like that. The beauty of that was that it didn't require any code support whatsoever. Coding and programming time for us is an incredibly expensive resource. I know I talk about this a lot. I know you guys are probably bored of me saying it now, but coders, they've got other stuff to be doing, if I'm pretty brutally honest, than putting time into crazy new block ideas. At least at the minute they do. Hopefully a bit further down the line we can actually go back to just putting in new crazy ideas. So Salem Black's idea worked perfectly because it was low bit. All it required was Rob just to sit down for, I think it was for a couple of days, and just come out with a whole load of new different types of armor blocks that eventually found their way into the game. There's a whole process that Rob goes through. It wasn't just taking the 3D renderings that Salem Black had done and then just it's not that straightforward. There's a lot more to it, which actually Rob goes into. We've got a whole blog post on our forum, on our TerraTech forum, on our TerraTech blog page, that talks about that whole process of block creation and where we go from our initial idea through to the actual implementation of it. I mean, Anton's already touched on it earlier about things that we consider in the very early stages of how many cells it's going to occupy. If it's a weapon that gimbals, how many would occupy? Because that's a big consideration. If it's 3 blocks long and it has a whole 360 arc, that's going to be a lot of blocks to take up. So these are all things that we can that you can consider. I wouldn't necessarily let that hinder you in how, if you guys want to design stuff and you want to sort of do what Anton's doing now. Honestly, the best thing for you to do is just to put it down on paper, or not in this case, or on PC. Just get your ideas down and send them over to us, and then we can be the ones to decide what we think would be feasible or not. Like I said, the only real limitation that we have is because we know it's going to be impossible to sort of do, would be new functions, new features. So we kind of toyed around with the idea of a nail gun. But that would effectively just be like any other gun in the game. It may have its own custom projectile. That would be cool. That could be kind of fancy. I don't think that would require I don't think it would require any code support. I don't actually know that. I mean, maybe Anton will know. But beyond that, the actual functionality of then if you were to fire a nail into a different tech and then that, or into a tree and it stay there, that's not a thing that currently exists in TerraTech, so that wouldn't be possible.
Actually, like staying in there, like I think we have this functionality. We've got the sticky projectiles now. It's sort of recent-ish thing.
Okay.
That's when was it Sam, our programmer Sam, when he was working on these zero gravity guns, and one of the guns, for some reason, I think it has the sticky parameter. So it never used to be a thing, but now it's a thing. So maybe we have like sticky bombs.
I stand corrected. Yeah, sticky bombs. Hey, sticky bombs. There's an idea for you. Go crazy with that. I'm talking to chat, not you.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of the point of what we're trying to show you guys now. Is just the steps that Anton goes through. And Anton will work differently to Rob. Rob will work differently to Jason, our lead artist. You know, these are all different ways of doing the same, but sort of essentially achieving the same goal. Just something to think about.
Yeah, so I don't know. I got some of these ideas. I'm still like not really happy with them. I'll probably spend more time designing it, you know. So kind of I'm not lucky enough to get like something really cool the first go. Let me try maybe think about the actual nail, the projectile.
Yeah.
Right. How would it look like? What would it do? Maybe it would be kind of just as a nail, just go in and blow up after a couple of seconds. Maybe one of those we have the explosive parameter to it. So this looks like just a standard nail that you just hammer in with your hammer.
Sorry, mystery gamer. Yes, do it in card. Do it literally. Fun story. I had to. We were doing some USBs for our Kickstarters. We've still yet to do those. But to get an idea of scale, I wanted to do a cool USB. That looks sick. A block, a USB made out of a block, basically, a 1x1 block, where the cap for the USB was also a 1x1 block. But it was really hard to articulate. I have no skills. I have absolutely zero skills when it comes to Photoshop. I couldn't do any of this stuff. So I literally went to a piece of paper. I have it upstairs, actually, it's on my desk. And just did the outline of the blueprint of it. Not blueprint. Just sketched out. What's it called? What would it call like the net block when it's all laid out flat. Measured it all out, and then literally just spent probably longer than I would care to admit.
There you go.
Oh, phew. Longer than I care to admit, folding it and gluing it and actually making a life-size actual 1 inch by 1 inch by 1 inch paper block, just to get an idea of how big it was and how usable it would be. And actually, that felt more real to me than it would be, because it was important. So yeah, if you want to use paper, if you want to use card, if you want to use Minecraft, like we've already said, if you want to, screw it. Go into TerraTech and use TerraTech as a creative platform to build new blocks with. I'm all up for that. Then take it as a snapshot and then submit it, and then I can load it in game. I can get an idea of it. Yeah.
Look, so basically, I'm just thinking, what if this snail had like a little dynamite sort of attached to it, right, stuck to it, and then that'd be an explosive one. It's a bit hard.
Hey, do you know what this looks like to me? Now, don't get any ideas, chat, because we're way far off of this.
Legion?
No, not Legion.
No.
No, I was going to say Space Junkers. That looks like they're taking something and just bolting something, like just literally sellotaped onto it and then going, right, that'll do.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
kind of what I think. And then they'd use it as like a harpoon. Yeah. Don't worry, we're not doing Space Junkers or Ethical Research or Legion yet. It's just something. So yeah, dynamite nails. I love it.
Then it has to be like really enormous because dynamite is just it's just just way too big. Yeah, something like that. And obviously this just differs a variation, but yeah, guys, like when you design blocks and you can come up with stuff like crazy stuff like this, and see, uh, you know, and basically, and then eventually submit it, and then we'll be happy to take a look.
I can't wait to see it. I'm genuinely excited to see what you guys can come up with. And we know you guys, there's loads of you that do already. Rats, Sailor Black, White Paw. Loads of you guys are already creating your own stuff. And like I said in this forum post, it's mainly for mods, which is totally cool by us. You guys, more for you. Make more stuff. And we know there's loads of stuff that's already out there. So if you want to already use that, if you want to just sort of cross-post that onto the actual thread itself, do it, man. We want to see it. I mean, we already do keep an eye on all this stuff. The idea of having it in one thread is to keep it in a centralized place so it makes it easier for us to find it. But I know that Rob and Jason and I think Anton read through most of the posts that go out, the suggestions about new blocks and new kind of designs. Man, you're a whiz at Photoshop. This is amazing.
This is just like a quick nail design. Maybe imagine nail, and then he has some sort of explosives over here. Let's like a little. I don't know why. I just want to feel like sticking to dynamite. Something like that. We'll also, kind of have to keep in mind it's going to be a really small mesh, like really small object, right? So adding lots of detail probably not a good idea. I'm not sure whether you'd actually see like these little dynamites, but yeah, but you can come up with.
But I think one thing I like about TerraTech is actually there is a lot of detail in the finer little blocks. Even though, so when I'm building stuff, I'll usually stay really far out, like my camera view will be really far out, and I'm just adding stuff to a thing to build it. And it's not until I actually then kind of zoom back in. Like, I know we do a lot with Concord. It's not until I actually zoom in and actually take a look at each individual block, and each individual block's got a load of little detail on it that I quite appreciate. So I actually quite like that. If you've got, I know they're fleeting, you may not see them, but I actually, more detail on the smaller projectiles, the better for me. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah. There you go. It can be something like that. Looks like a little bird actually.
A little smile. Right, guys, we're coming up to the end of the stream because it's late and Anton needs to get off. Have you had your phone call?
No, they didn't call me for some reason. I don't know.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Well, didn't hear it.
Okay. That'd be hilarious if they'd called you and you'd missed it.
Yeah. Or maybe they sent me an email. Okay, I'll have to
cool. Is that it? Are you happy with that?
So well, see, like that's the thing. Like, not really happy with it. So I doubt I'd use anything from here, but sort of at least that's how we develop ideas. We start something with something simple. We just talk about it like, ooh, let's make a nail gun with dynamite or something. Well, we're not gonna use it, but that's a process, right? And then eventually just keep drawing, like trying to stick to different shapes and keep evolving it until it starts looking like something good. It doesn't really look great at the moment, but I think if I spend a bit more time on it, then we'd get there.
And that's all we wanted to do today, guys. Is to show you the very starting point of how we design stuff, and we kind of like you can do it your way. Effectively, what we would then hopefully land with after this whole process is a sketch or a 3D model or something like that, and that that's what we want to see. Even if you can just do sketches like this, and as long as you can explain what it is that you want us to achieve with it, that's fine.
So yeah, there we go, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Sorry we didn't manage to come up with something crazy and super awesome.
Dude, I think a nail gun, explosive nail gun, that's pretty great. That's pretty out there. Cool. Alright, on that note, I'm going to end. Thanks so much for stopping by, guys. I'm going to find the thread. It's this one, that's what it is. So, for those that haven't seen it yet or want to know what the heck we're talking about, this is the forum thread that you want to go to if you want to submit your ideas. So, bookmark it, save it, create a forum account, whatever you've got to do, make sure you save that link because we want to see what you've got, really. Like I said earlier, I'm super excited to see what you guys come up with. And yeah.
There we go, guys.
Also, for those that don't know, Anton looks a lot more tan than the majority of the United Kingdom right now.
Oh,
Because someone went to BlizzCon. Didn't
Oh,
they?
so to BlizzCon, who was it?
Got some sweet swag. They just heard BlizzCon.
It's not this, you know, it was like
It's Illidan though, right?
yeah, I got a couple of years ago. But yeah, there's got a little Zen. Says peace. There you go. So yeah,
we'll get this added to YouTube so everyone can see exactly the process that we do. And as always, if you've got any questions, if you want to sort of shoot anything our way, go on Discord. I'm always on Discord. Oh, within working hours. Check it on the forum. Send me a direct message or send Anton a direct message on the forums. On Twitter, literally anything, any way that you think you can get hold of us, you will be able to carry a pigeon. I think we still do that.
Mm-hmm.
Have you fed Roger in a few weeks?
Have I?
Fed Roger the carrier pigeon?
No.
Roger! Roger's fine, guys. That carrier pigeon has been fed and looked after.
I'm sorry, I don't even know who Roger is.
Roger, the carrier pigeon that we use to communicate with our community. It's like what we...
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah, okay. Okay, guys. Look forward to seeing you soon. There you go. Thanks, Moobot. Moobot's helping us out.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
Cool.
Gonna head off.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you next week.
Yeah, next week. We're going to do a concert. This is going to run for a while, I think, at least 3 or 4 weeks. So next week we'll do Comcore. So I'll get the Comcore thread up after the stream, so we can start. If you've got just a regular tech that you want to submit, do it. Yeah, we'll do that, and then we'll see you guys next week.
See you guys.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. Bye.